My name is Francisco Jimenez. I'm going to read an excerpt from my book titled The Circuit, Stories from the Life of a Migrant Child. And the excerpt is from the title story called The Circuit. And the setting is Fresno, where my parents and I, when I was a young boy, used to go to pick grapes. I still felt a little dizzy when we took a break to eat lunch. It was past 2 o'clock, and we sat underneath a large walnut tree that was on the side of the road. While we ate, Papa jotted down the number of boxes we had picked. Roberto drew designs on the ground with a stick. Suddenly, I noticed Papa's face turn pale as he looked down the road. "Here comes a school bus," he whispered loudly in alarm. Instinctively, Roberto and I ran and hid in the vineyards. We did not want to get in trouble for not going to school.
I'm one of the family literacy librarians at the Santa Clara City Library that's managing our Circuit of Service grant project. And I also work with a class of teen parents at our local continuation high school who have been reading the circuit together as a class. The teachers have been reading it aloud to them. And they made a visit to the library this morning, and I was really struck by the efficacy of the concept of this grant project by what happened with them. They're almost finished with the book, and they came to visit us today, and we asked them to decorate summer art activity bags for a group of migrant ed families that we'll be visiting at the end of the month. And much to my surprise, they spontaneously offered to come with us to volunteer at the visit because they want to meet the families and interact with them and help at the event. It clearly was the impact of reading the circuit that encouraged them to even think about how they might be able to help families that live the kind of life that's portrayed in the book.
I have a lot of respect for the work that migrants do in agriculture, not simply because my own family did that kind of work, but because I think that the work that these families do is not valued enough, and yet the work that they do helps to develop the economy of our state and the nation. And their work is noble work.
Well, the Migrant Ed program is for families who have worked in the agricultural setting in the last 3 years. So we have quite a few families that go during the summer to Fresno, Watsonville. We have some that go to Washington State and work in the fields over there picking strawberries to planting fruit trees.
Then as of last school year, we are very grateful to the Santa Clara Library that has opened their doors to our program specifically. We have had a couple meetings here already, and we plan to continue meeting here with our families in order for them to come and also enjoy everything that the library has to offer for them. Many of our families don't have computers at home. Nowadays, it's a must to have a computer at home, but some of our families can't afford it, so it's been great to know that our students are coming to the library to do homework, to do research, whatever is needed, in order for them to be successful. They have it here available at the library.
I had some very good teachers who saw in me something that I didn't see myself, so they would encourage me. The other thing that encouraged me was that as a child I was very curious. I enjoyed learning.
One aspect of our grant was to collect school supplies to give to each child who is participates in the school district's migrant ed program. The police department was able to donate all of these new backpacks for us to give the children. And then we put a bin out in the middle of the library and promoted donations of school supplies. Many families who participated in our summer reading program brought supplies and donated them when they came back to get their summer reading club awards. And in addition to that, we purchased dictionaries at different levels for families. So a family will get either a desk reference dictionary that's appropriate for a middle or high school student, or a children's dictionary that's for elementary school. So we're very excited that this has gone so well. We had wonderful volunteers who packed up all the backpacks, and we know that the children and the families are going to be really excited to see all these wonderful things that they will be given.
I encourage young people to take advantage of their education because by so doing they will have choices of the kind of work that they want to do and the kind of life that they want to have.
We've had a lot of fun working with literacy with our teen moms and also with their children. And we've had a wonderful time with the library. We've been reading books. And most recently we had the greatest visit from Francisco Jimenez, and he talked about his life. He talked about when he was a child, and many of the students and both of us were so engrossed because he's such an amazing, loving, talented man.
When he came to talk to us, it was like, it was real, because like it wasn't just sitting there reading something. It was him like telling us his experiences and what he went through and everything. It wasn't just us sitting there reading a book that could mean or say anything, could be real or not real. He showed us pictures of from when he was younger and everything. You could tell he was real with what he was saying because of his emotions toward it.
And when Francisco came to our class, we were telling him how much we admired his mother, especially what a strong woman she was, and how the family always stuck together. They always obeyed their parents. They just worked together no matter what. And he had tears in his eyes. And so did we, for sure.
He's a wonderful person to even talk about school, that now that he's a professor, he can talk about what it was like for him when he was a young boy and where he is now. And that's such a good role model for our students. He came to class, signed the books, the children are there. He came over to the child care center and talked with the little babies, held the babies.
I feel a kinship to these families, and so whenever I can, I try to go to the migrant camps. I have done that, and migrant programs, to thank them for the work they do, to thank them for the sacrifices that they are making for their children, and to encourage them, to encourage their children to continue their education.
Our culminating event for the Circuit of Service project was a family literacy evening for the migrant ed families that we held at our central library. During the evening, we had a number of different events going on. We had dinner, and then we had crafts, computer instruction, and also both parents and children received summer reading book awards. But the big moment in the evening was when Dr. Francisco Jimenez came to meet the families. He had been so enthused by his visit to the teen moms at the Young Parents Center that he offered to come and meet the migrant ed families and then talk to them a little bit about the importance of education and libraries, and also about the importance of the work that they do. When the teen moms heard that Francisco was coming to the library, a number of them came as well. So they brought their children, and they were able to meet the migrant ed families and see Francisco again. And it just turned out to be a really joyful event for all of us. It was a great finish to this project. And ultimately, we were able to bring together everyone in our circuit of service, the author, the readers, and the migrant ed families for whom the circuit is not just a collection of stories, but it really is a reflection of their own lives.